All right, people in the future, it's the part 3 of email verification. So what we did so far, we have a function responsible for sending an email. It receives two things: to who you want to send and a verification link, which is referring to one of our endpoints in our server. They receive an email, the user that is registered. So when someone tries to register, first we replace the hash password and then we save it to the database. When the user is saved to the database, we try to create a unique token to prepare a nice object to save it to our database, this verification data, because we need to know which user has which token. And then when we have that, we save it to our database inside of verification collections. And then we prepare a link for that specific user. The link is always the same to one of our endpoints, only the token is different for each user. And we send the email to the new user, whatever is the email, and a verification link. They click on that, they come to this endpoint. When they click on that, they come to localhost 77 API users verify and a token. We don't have that yet. So let's create the endpoint somewhere here. So we want a get method if it comes to this one. Let me copy and paste to be a bit faster. So when I get requests coming to /API, localhost /API users verify and a token inside, then it comes like that. Oops. Get, that's a get method. So to /API /users /verify, let's say, and we expect a token. So the request is coming here then. After they click on that, it's coming here. We can handle that with request next. Try and catch. Let's start with the console log. So when the request is coming, I need to be able to get that unique ID or token that we created and put it into the link. How can I get this token from the request? I want to console log it anyway. Tell me, what is that?
Rect.params?
Exactly. Rect.params, it's giving us access to whatever is coming after this verify, and then with the colon, then it gives us whatever comes after verify, which is could be a token or an ID, unique ID. Let's test it. I'm gonna register myself again, so I need to empty my database, otherwise I cannot register myself because I want to receive the email that I can click on that. I deleted everything in my database. Hopefully you have such an endpoint. I'm going to register myself. Bang! Fantastic, fantastic. And the console log says verification email is sent to my email. Let me go to my email. Gmail. All right, this is the one that just came. I click on that. Let me put this here. can see. So when I click on that, a request, look at this down here. This is the link that we put it into the button. It's to localhost 77/API/users/verify and that token. So it comes to my endpoint, so to say, somewhere. So it should come here. And what we do, just console logging direct.params. Let's see. Bang. Fantastic. We received that. That's the console log. And you can see it's just loading and waiting because it came here and didn't receive any response. That's why it's just loading forever to receive a response. Okay? Does that make sense so far? All right. Now I have params in my hand. Inside of the params, which is an object, there is a token. So I need the token. Anyway, let's destructure the token. So I'm going to say const token equals to, if we want to destructure it, then we need curly braces. Destructure it from direct.params. Okay, we have token in our hand in this way. Now let's let me get rid of this console log. I don't need it anymore. Now we want to take this token and go to our database to find who has this token. Okay? Which means const find, let's name it find token, because we want to find it in our database. How do you find it? Someone help me to complete this line.
With the model again?
Exactly, which model?
How it was user? I don't remember.
It was verification.
Verification. Verification model dot find. Let me to have a bigger screen that you can see. Find one, and the one that we want to find, we put some option here. We want to find by token. So we provide the token as an object, this one. So we're looking for a verification object, and we want the one that has this token coming from the request in the params, like this token. You want to find out who has this one. If we don't find that, we need to think about if we don't find it, yeah? If we don't find, if not find a token, then like always, you know that, prepare a nice message. Next. Status 404 because we didn't find it. And a message could be, because we didn't add, I don't want to add this part to our token, because you can add expiration time. Have you seen, for example, when you click on a link, for the next time, if you want to click, it says it's expired, yeah, or it's not there. We don't do that now. Let's just have a nice message like something like that. Let's say, for now, let's say it's expired. Invalid expired token. That's a good one. Invalid expired. Teamwork. That's I love when you guys help me. Invalid expired token. And then return. Yeah, we want to stop the process here. Oops, come on. Fantastic. What if we find it? If we find it, I would like to console log it first, that you can see. Console log find token object. Let's see. So I want to click again on the email. This one that was sent to me. Bang. Look at here. That's the console log. We were able to find who has this token. This is the token in the database. You can see A9F at the end. And this is the request that is coming. A GET request to blah, 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 blah. And that's the token, A97. So we were able to take this from our request with params and find it in our database. And when we find it, we see that. Let me just manipulate the request that if we don't find it, look at what happens. This is the verify slash A97. I want to change it to A9F, A9, for example, R. We know I don't have this in my database. Okay, I just want to make the request again. Let me stop it and do it again. So R, let's see, bang. Trying to this, if try to, you know what, let me do it in another way. It's because it's adding this one automatically to that. I'm going to do it in this way. So http://localhost/777, that's my server, okay, to /API/users/verify, yeah, and then after that, a unique token. I know I don't have this, and let's see when we make this request, what we receive. I expected we receive this thing and it doesn't. Why? Did I put HTTP? HTTP // please work. We have to do it with REST client then. I have to do it with REST client to see that we receive the error, so to say. I want to manipulate this. Let me see. API.
I have a question.
Users. Yeah.
When I try to post, because I posted earlier to test the email, and now when I post again, the email is actually a duplicate. Should I change that from the schema, or should I just leave it as it is? Because it's not really going to work for me, I guess.
The email is duplicate because you are trying to register the same user then. It's coming from your user schema.
I'm trying to use a different user, but the same email.
It doesn't work because your schema tells, if you check the schema of user, it's telling it must be unique.
Unique.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Okay, so that's why I'm asking. Should I remove the unique one?
Yeah, you can for now for testing purposes, or delete yourself from the database and again register. Yeah, but you want always the email to be unique for the user name. Yeah, for the users to be saved in the database. Okay. Let me solve this. Why it's not making the request to my endpoint? Network tab. The reason is, I think, because it's HTTP and the browsers, because of the security and stuff, I think it's not doing that. You know what I mean? So that's why when we click on that, it's coming from Google. Let me see how it does it. Yeah, google.com URL is this one. Yeah, let me change this to see if I can make the request again. R. Let me stop this. It came now. Fantastic. So if you receive something like this, and then when you click on that, you can see the response is working now, because I manipulated just deliberately to receive the error. It's like this token doesn't exist. I just change it from F to R here. So the if condition correctly works. Yeah. If I change it back to the one that it was F at the end, then I will get the console log of who has this one. So what is the rest now? We successfully could handle the request if we don't find it, the token in our database is an error, but if we find it, we console log it. Instead of console log, we can do other stuff. I need to find this user in my database, because I have only the ID of that, correct? I cannot edit this user yet, but I have the ID of this user in my hand, which means I can find this user in my database. I can say, let's find it. Who is this person? Let's find user. So this time I want to go to the database of the users. So I want to find a user, not a token now. What do I need this line here? Which model?
User model.
Exactly. The user model, we needed to find a user. So let's find by ID, because we have the ID of the user in our hand. From where it's coming? How can I now pass the ID of the user here? This one. From which variable is it? I want to find this user in my database. Who is this person? So I need to pass it here. What should I pass here?
Find token.
Yeah, find token is the object.
And then the user.
Then dot user. Fantastic. This is the find token. This is the object that we found it. Inside of it there is a user, which is an ID, so to say. Then dot user. Fantastic. Let's see if we find it. I'm gonna console log the find user. Let's put a flag that we can see which console log is it. Found user with ID after finding the token, so to say, something like that. This one should be console log. I have a typo, I think. All right. So let's test it again. I'm gonna refresh the page for the same request with the same token. Bang. Fantastic. First, we were able to find the token in our database, this one. And then we could find who is behind this token with the ID inside. And that who is was Jay with this email and Jacob. Fantastic. We know now this person clicked on the button when they received the email. What you need to do here, we don't have still, we need to add one more property to this, which is verified false to true. We don't have it in our schema, we need to add it anyway. Yeah, but here we can now update our user verified from false to true. So let's add the verified thingy inside of our schema because we don't have it. This thing doesn't have it. We can add to that. Let's add it. Verified, let's say type is Boolean, because we want to say true or false. The default, we consider that when we save them into the database, the default they are false. Yeah. Let's do it again. That's what we see receive now. I'm going to delete myself again from the database, and there is a delete request at the end. I have it, hopefully if you have it or not, but I'm going to delete it. Everything is deleted from the database. I want to register myself again. Bang! So I registered myself. Yeah. And now I receive definitely a new email with a new token. So this is the one. I'm going to click to verify me. Bang. Fantastic. We were able to find who clicked. And now, from now on, we just want to update this user from verified false to true. All right? So this means after we find it, you need to think about what if you don't find it. Okay? So I'm gonna first check if we don't find the user. Then preparing a nice message of a nice error, actually. Next. A status 404, definitely we didn't find the user, with a message of user not found. User does not exist. Okay? And return. But if we find it, we want to update it. So we say find user, which is this variable, dot verified equals to true. Make sense so far? Great. After we update the verified to true, then we're gonna save it back to the database, because this line is still updating that locally, but you're not updating it also in the database, because you need to save it back in the database. Saving it back is like wait, find user.save. You use this save method when you're changing about your document. In this case is our user, it could be product, for example, or whatever. When you change something inside of it, like kind of updating that, after that you can use, when you finish with updating, you can say, okay, save it back to the database. This line doing that. Yeah, makes sense? And we use await because save is returning a promise. Okay, so when we save it back, we can, that's it, you're done. You can send a response. First dot status status. So the status is 201, or no, for updating. What is for updating the status? A successful updating. I don't know, 200. And what we want to send, you can send whatever you want, but make sure that you are sending the new updated version of the find user, this one. Okay, the variable, this one. Always send what you just did to the front end. Okay, so it could be also a message if you want. Let's say message yeah, you are successfully verified, something like that, and the object of the user, find user, this one that we found and updated. That's it. Let's test the link again. I want to test this link, the same link we did, sending a response. It's coming, you can see it already made it to verify true and waiting for now the response. It should receive the response. Now the response is came. It's like a JSON now. The message and the user that successfully we made it to true. If I check all the users that I have, you will see that it's updated. Let's get all the users. It's verified. Yeah, that's it. Was it difficult? The okay means difficult or was okay?
Difficult for me at least.
It is for the first time, and that's completely normal. The main thing is that you understand the procedure actually. I'm gonna draw the procedure again because the syntax doesn't matter. You have the recording, you have the code, you can just, whenever you want to implement that, you can implement it the same. But the most important thing is what? The understanding how it works. I think someone is not happy.
A baby is crying.
Yeah. Little Okila, I think. Say my hi. Oh, nice. I'm gonna draw the procedure again. Maybe that makes sense, but please understand this because it's so important. Yeah. Someone registers to your website. They put their credentials, and this is your backend, an endpoint waiting for a request to register someone in your database. The request comes with all the credentials, username, password, email, address, age, whatever that there is in your form. After checking all the middleware checks, the strong password, whatever, you save it to the database successfully. Database confirms that, tells you, I saved it, this is the information about the user. And then when you receive the confirmation from the MongoDB, you send a response. Yes, you registered successfully, but check your email, you have to confirm that. So when you do that, when you register that, you send the email first, yeah, you prepare a token, a unique token for that, and so on. You save the token in the database, that who was this token, for who you created that. Because every user has a new token. For example, if Mickey is registered, you prepare a token for Mickey, you put ID of Mickey inside of that object, you save this object token in another collection, let's say verification collection, somewhere you keep it in the database, and then send this response. Yes, we send you an email, just check it, click on that. They click. When they click, the request goes to another endpoint, the endpoint that you just put it into the link, /API/users/verify, with a unique token there. This endpoint, which is a get endpoint, receives the request, takes this unique token, and goes to the database to see who has this token, find it. We find it, there is a person with some special ID, with a specific ID. We take the ID, we go back to the user collection, we say, who is this ID? Give it to me, the information. And we find Mickey with all the information. When we find it, we change the verified from false to true and save back Mickey to the database again. And after this, we say, okay, Mickey, you're done. You're activated. Yeah, Okile.
Oh yeah, that very part of verifying whether it's true or false. It's like if I post and then I get an email, for instance, if I don't verify, that means it remains false, right?
It remains false. Yes.
Okay, that's what I was saying. So
yeah, we can test it. Let's test it. I'm gonna register me again. Yeah, let me delete me because we want to test it. Delete me. Let's say someone is registering with this name and email. By default is verified false. I receive the email, and if I get the information about this user, it's false. I still haven't clicked on that. Yeah, so I get it again, it's false. Now, after a while, let's say I want to activate myself. So I have to log into my email and then check my emails and check my inbox. I see a verify email. Okay. When I click, then it's gonna update my thing to true. Bang. Waiting. My backend is doing the job, and we should receive a response. You're successfully verified. Yeah. So if I now check to get the users, bang, it's now to true. All right. There is one more thing, because the link that you always send, you have to think about it. That the user should not be able to click on it anymore, because it should be one time. Yeah. Or when it's expired after 30 minutes or 24 hours, I don't know, whatever. Also, they shouldn't be able to activate that. They should receive again the new email. Because now we can see I can click on that again and it will do the same procedure, even thousands of times. It's already verified. So then it's just an extra effort for your backend to do the same job, but it's already true there. Yeah. So you have to think about it. If they clicked on that one time and if they are verified, then you shouldn't allow that they do it. You need to do something with it. I put this something as a research for you. What should you do after that if they clicked again on it, if they are already verified? To implement that, yeah? That's the thing. But the rest is fine. I hope it was helpful. This was not supposed to be a live coding for you. It was just to tell you how it works. But I think it's good to know it, how to implement that. Actually, the resetting password is working the same. Have you seen when you want to log in to a system, to a website, and you forgot your password, and they say, forget password. You click on, I'm hearing myself, guys. Someone microphone is on.
So, one more question.
Yeah.
So like right now, on your browser, it's like you're sending, that's like the front end that you're sending that data to.
Yes.
This, yeah, exactly.
The browser, yeah. Tell me.
Okay, I was like, okay, how about just sending a message instead of like the old data?
You can do just only a message if you want, yeah. But it depends on, because you receive this not in your browser showing like that, because it's now just we send a JSON, yeah. When you have a React, you receive it in a variable and you set the state, yeah. Maybe you need this to save it, but you can also send a message, successfully verified, and you can tell them you can log in now, log into the system. When we do a full stack, then you will see how like it works, but it's just the same, yeah. And what I wanted to say, I forgot about that. I was telling. Yeah, the reset password works the same. The email that you receive, it's exactly the same. When the user clicks on the forgot password, you receive, so yeah, the reset password is exactly like that. The user wants to log in, they don't remember, they click on the forget password. What does the forget password do? You have an input, it says, okay, put your email here, we want to know who you are, and then you put that and you click on the forget password. It makes a request to one of and the endpoint in your backend responsible for that, responsible for forget password, like to /API/users/forgot password. And you put the email somewhere here in the request that is coming. Your server takes the email, for example, it's okile@gmail.com, want to reset the password. It says, okay. The server sends an email to you with a nice template of new password, confirm new password, 2 inputs to you. In your email, you put your passwords there, you click to update your password. When you click on that, this new password coming to another endpoint of yours in your the backend, like let's say to /API/ reset password, yeah, /reset password. This is gonna take your new password and it knows who you are because you gave your email. So it knows, for example, it's Okile. Let's find Okile in our database and replace the password. When we replace the password that you put it in your, when you receive the email, you can say, okay, your password is updated. This is the same procedure, actually, how you do it. Yeah, that's it. Hope it was not too much. Let me stop recording.